Alright, hi you guys. Excuse the setup again. I'm sitting on my living room floor again. You can see the dining room, and I'm sure you're gonna see dogs walking up and down. Yeah, I don't even know where to start. It's been a long time since, see, Abby? It's been a long time since I have been on here. The last video I made was our surprise pregnancy announcement. And since then, a lot has happened. Today, exactly 4 weeks ago, we found out that we were pregnant with the positive pregnancy test. So, I'm going to try my best to have this video edited and up tonight. If not, it'll be up tomorrow, so you might be off by a day. I have filmed in between, especially like doctor visits and stuff, but I just fell so far behind on like editing and posting that they just didn't make any more sense to post because they were just so off. I guess like the main question that everybody's gonna have, and let's get it out of the way, yes, I am still pregnant. According to my last, like my monthly period, I should be like 8 weeks and something today. According to when I'm most likely ovulated, I should be closer to like 7 weeks. Yeah, something like that, around there. The reason why I'm so confused and don't know my exact date, well, there's a lot behind it. So if I keep like moving around, I'm trying to get comfortable and so I kind of like sit still, but I don't know how to sit. Anyway, focus, Fran. So lots has been going on, from kind of like slow rising HCG to just not feeling as sick as I think I should, to not knowing what's real and what isn't, because I am on progesterone suppository since I seen my doctor. There's going to be so much that I'm going to forget in this video that I probably should have mentioned. I'm trying to like think back of what happened. I guess like since finding out I have been testing obviously and the lines kept getting darker. I then did a bunch of betas and I only knew my first one, I think, when I made the video last time. So they did go up, but not quite as high or as fast as I would have liked to. My doctor, I guess, like I thought it was every 2 days, and my doctor wants to see doubling every 3 days. So in that range, I was doing pretty much fine, but it was hard to tell because I did go every second day versus every third day. So, they did go up fairly nicely, which was good. So then she gave me a requisition form for a first ultrasound, which was last Monday. Now, the kind of anxiety that I had before that ultrasound is literally indescribable, just because of everything that we went through so far and everything that we have dealt with, especially with the first pregnancy. Ultrasounds are not something enjoyable for us. And once again, it kind of turned out to be that exact same scenario, I guess. I'll leave all the other stuff out of it, and I'll get more into detail of the actual ultrasound. So, what happened is we went to the same place as the second time last time where we found out our baby no longer had a heartbeat. Believe us, it was really hard to choose that place just because of the bad news that we got there. Like, it just, like, yeah, it was hard going back there. But the other place that I went to before, across the street, where Matt wasn't allowed in. And like I said, after what we've been through, I am not ever going anywhere like that without him. Like, today I had another doctor's appointment that I'm fine to go to because I kind of know what to expect. But an ultrasound with us is so, like, literally life or death. And I can't handle that on my own. So we chose to go back to the same place and got changed into the gown, waited for the ultrasound tech, and it turned out to be a guy. Which, as soon as I heard that it was a guy, I already said to Mitt, oh great. I just had a bad feeling from the start. So we went into the room and the guy was super nice. Like, really such a nice guy, like super friendly. Very shy, it seemed, like very, like, I don't know, kind of like to himself, which I don't know, is not very reassuring when you're going into an appointment like that. So he asked me when my last period was, and I told him, and he said I should be around like 7 weeks and 4 days or something. And I said no, because I know when I usually ovulate, which matches with the date that I got my positive, so I should probably be closer to 6 weeks actually, which he was already annoyed with because I was telling him what, and he didn't appreciate that, I guess. So, turned out later, kind of, that he was like, he wasn't being rude, but it was just kind of like the whole, why are you even here if you're only 6 weeks? Like, you're not going to see anything kind of thing. And it just made me really uncomfortable because on the sheet, like on the requisition form that I brought, it said like recurrent losses. That's the whole reason why I get to go early kind of thing. And he just like, he hated the fact that I was there because it made his job harder to even look for anything instead of just like sticking a probe on a belly that's already popping out and actually seeing a big baby. So, anyway, so we started with the abdominal obviously, and obviously we were relieved to hear that nothing was in my tubes, which I was really worried about for a long time there because I had quite a lot of cramping on like a certain side and something that I wasn't really used to with other pregnancies or not even like AF or anything. So I was quite concerned about that. So to hear it's not in the tubes was really like reassuring. On the abdominal, all he saw was like an empty gestational sac. That's all he could see, which at that point I wasn't really upset about because I'm like, it's way too early to see anything through like the abdominal way. And so he turned the lights back on and he's like, yeah, so all I can see right now is like an empty gestational sac and I suggest you come back in 2 weeks. And me and Matt looked at each other and we were like, obviously, you did an abdominal one. We're used to a vaginal one at this early stage to be able to see anything. And he seemed kind of taken back by the idea that we suggested doing that. And so he took a while and he was kind of like going back and forth. And then it was just kind of like, yeah, well, I guess we could try that and see if we can see anything else. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't judge the situation because I don't know what was going on. But honestly, to me, it seemed like he's the kind of guy that deals with babies past like 12 weeks that you can literally see easily, that you just need to measure to make sure they're the right size, kind of thing, like the happy parts. And he's not part of somebody who has to actually dig for a small, tiny baby kind of thing because he didn't even think about a transvaginal ultrasound. I'm the one that had to say something or otherwise he would have kicked us out. So, anyway, so in a way I kind of demanded one because I was like, I want to see something. And so he was like, yeah, I guess. And he didn't even have like the vaginal probe or whatever on his ultrasound machine. So he had to leave the room and get it from somewhere else and then hook it up to the machine. And, sorry, Instagram. You guys are commenting. And yeah, it was just very, very awkward. Obviously, I went and, like, emptied my bladder, and then he came back with another girl, obviously, like, a nurse or whatever they're called. Like, anyway, just another girl so that, like, he wasn't, like, the only tech in the room kind of thing. And, well, I don't know. She wasn't a tech, I don't think, because she was the one that just showed me to my room and told me what to put on. I don't see her being a tech, but I don't know. Anyway, so he did the vaginal ultrasound and kind of did the same thing, like a million pictures of my ovaries, which I'm like, you already got. And then he finally started, like, kind of looking around for baby a little bit. And he did find the gestational sac again. And in the gestational sac this time, he also saw the yolk sac, but no baby. And according to the measurements of the gestational sac, the way that he had it, I was only, like, 5 weeks, and 5 weeks, pretty much. And so, he was like, there's no baby, so, like, there's not much more that he can say, so, if anything, he suggests maybe coming back in 2 weeks and then see what happens. So, obviously, at that point, we're already trying to hold back tears again. I was leaving the place, like, just bawling my eyes out, sitting in the car again, bawling my eyes out. Just because I know what that usually means for us when baby's already behind. And at that point, it was, like, really far behind. And, yeah, it was a rough couple of days until I, like, shared my story and stuff with you guys on Instagram of what had happened. And a lot of you guys made me feel better about the fact that he seemed to be, like, inexperienced, like, not able to, like, look for stuff properly. I do have, like, a tilted uterus, which I read online. It makes it very hard to, like, find things, especially when they're small. And at that point, baby is, like, tiny, tiny. Like, the grain of rice or whatever. So unless you actually know how to look, it's going to be hard to find. But anyway, like, it doesn't change anything of what's happening. Once again, we didn't have a great experience. Not like anything ever goes smoothly for us. And yeah, it's been rough. But I mean, like, stories online are pretty much like 50-50. Some women just end up not having a baby that actually grows. A lot of women, especially you guys on Instagram, you shared your stories with me too. You guys had the same thing happen, and a week later or 2 weeks later, you guys went and there was baby with a heartbeat and everything was fine. So those are the kind of stories that I'm trying to hold on to right now, but I also have to be realistic that with our story or history of recurrent losses, this could very well be another one of those. And it's kind of like around the same time frame as the first time, so honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. I know I'm saying that like also cold, but I've cried so much lately that there's just nothing much more left. Anyway, so today is like the 31st of July, and I just had an appointment with my doctor to actually talk about the ultrasound, since that was like the first time she actually kind of properly looked at them and stuff with me. So, oh, and I guess I should also mention, so on the 15th, so like a week before my ultrasound, I went for like all of the prenatal blood work and stuff that you have to usually do, and like the urine sample and stuff. And I got there and I gave the lady the piece of paper and she's like, so do you have an hour? And I'm like, excuse me? And she's like, well, yeah, you have to do the gestational diabetes test. And I'm like, what? I'm like 5 or 6 weeks pregnant. Why would I have to do that? And she's like, I don't know. She's never really heard of anybody having to do that so early, and I was in such shock because I did not prepare for that at all. I literally had like a bowl of ice cream the night before and just, you know, like just not caring. I mean, like usually when people know, you try to like kind of eat healthy around and just you pass the test, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I had to drink that thing and it made me so sick and it was so disgusting, and it, like I literally had trouble like swallowing each little gulp. It was that bad. Anyway, so all of that was like riding on today, like finding out what my HCG was doing, and hearing if I have diabetes, and hearing what she thinks about the ultrasound. So my appointment was like at 10 a.m. and I didn't get in again until like 12. That clinic, I swear, like if she wasn't so damn nice, I would not be going back to that clinic ever again. Like, this happens every single time. Like, you know, if your appointment's like at a certain time, you can add another 2 hours before you even get called into the room, and then you still need to wait half an hour for her to even come into the room, which is not her fault. Like, as soon as she walked into the room, she like rolled her eyes and she's like, fuck. And I'm like, what? And she was like, oh, so busy today. They literally thought they can squeeze in people whenever, and she just like, technically she would have to see like 6 people at once in the same room to catch up. And it's just, the people planning up there have like no idea of how to schedule. So like, literally they have somebody new scheduled every 5 minutes. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, people have questions. She needs to find a heartbeat for people. Like, she needs to check babies. Like, there's so much to do that you can't do in 5 minutes. Anyway, so we got to talking, and she said that my HCG was going up nicely. I guess on the 15th that I did my glucose test or whatever, I was in like the 1400s, and then I went again on the 25th, the day after my ultrasound, just because I wanted to know what my HCG was doing, and it was like 7800, so it did obviously still go up. I mean, at that point, right now, it's not going to tell us much because it's not unheard of for like the gestational sac or the placenta to like still stay there and still produce for a little while before it realizes nothing's there. Or it could obviously be like a nice surprise. So HCG was good. Gestational diabetes came back like normal. I don't have anything, which is great. I was really nervous for that one for a long time. And in regards to her ultrasound, I mean, at this point, she says it's pretty much like a 50-50 chance. The 5 weeks is not something that is concerning her a whole lot, even though it's concerning me, because my dates can't be off. I mean, on the date of my ultrasound, I've already known for 3 weeks that I was pregnant. So if you add 2 weeks to make it 5 weeks, I would have literally had to like ovulate, conceive, and implant the same day for my positive pregnancy test to make any sense. So I know the ovulation date can't be far off, maybe by a day, maybe by 2, but that's about it, not a whole week. But she also said that if like the guy that did it was not as like thorough or didn't know what he was doing and how to measure, literally every millimeter counts by like days. So she said like it's still within a weekish range. It's not like it's 3 weeks off and saying that I'm like 2 weeks pregnant or something. So that didn't concern her too much. She said that for around the 5-week like mark or whatever, gestational sac and a yolk sac were a good sign, especially the yolk sac. I mean, there is such a thing as like the blighted ovum or whatever it's called, where you don't have a yolk sac and it's just the gestational sac just getting bigger and bigger, but there's nothing in it. But obviously still there could be a yolk sac and baby just never grew and it's starting to inflate by the time we go for another ultrasound. Or hopefully, which we're all hoping, like so many of you actually go through, that we're lucky for once and that we're going to go back and actually see baby and a heartbeat and everything is fine. But like she said too, 50-50 chance right now of whether or not there's going to be something there. As sad as it sounds, in a way I was hoping today that, not hoping, that's the wrong term, but after what we've been through, you kind of, I can't say wish. I don't know what word to use to like not sound stupid, because obviously you don't wish or hope for something like that. But in a way you just blank that she would have said your levels are going down, this is a miscarriage and you're done with it. Not done with it, but you could have dealt with it. Now I have an ultrasound booked again for this Friday. So 4 days to go, and now everything depends on that Friday again, which means no sleep, so much anxiety again, and just, I don't know. Ultrasounds to me are just the devil, pretty much, because there's just, every time we go, something's wrong, and every time we go, there's not any good news for us, so I'm preparing myself for bad news on Friday, that there's nothing there. Which I already have been preparing myself for, to be honest. I think that's maybe why I come off as a little cold right now. It's just because I have my guard up. And that's just something that comes with infertility and loss, especially loss. The whole innocence of being happy about stuff is just gone and like disappeared. And you just learn very quick with the slightest bad news to just guard up and just, I don't know, just kind of shut everything off, shut all the emotions off, and just kind of deal with yourself for a while. And that's what's been happening ever since the last ultrasound, is just my guard's up. I know that the chance is very high that that's what's going to happen again, because we are in the same week as our first loss where baby stopped growing, so it's not unheard of for us to kind of lose a baby in this week again. Obviously, we're hoping for a miracle. I mean, lots of people do get lucky, especially after seeing my Instagram and Facebook blow up about similar stories and happy endings. It's just that's something we're not used to, and you guys know that too. Like, we usually get the short end of the stick in this journey. So, I guess the big update will be this Friday or this weekend for you guys. I mean, depending on the outcome, I don't know if I'm going to be up to filming right Friday or even Saturday. But I'll promise I'll be up soon to let you guys know. Obviously, my Instagram will be a lot faster updates. So if you want to go follow me there, it's Fran and the Journey to Baby. And every space is an underscore. So if you want to follow me on there, so then you guys can have faster updates, that'd be awesome. And yeah, this is kind of like the short version somewhat of what has happened in the last like 4 weeks, 3 weeks I guess since the last update. But I just wanted to give you guys an update to let you guys know what's happening, and this way you know what happened today at the doctor's appointment as well. So thank you guys again for your continued support and the prayers and everything, the hopeful thoughts. Please continue and think of us on Friday. We're hoping for a really big miracle for us. Hopefully we'll be lucky for once. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys really soon. I promise you guys will have an update. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.